Now at 11, the Trump administration cracking down on illegal immigration, but some lawmakers say to a concerning degree.
Immigrants bring all kinds of strength to our country, and it's time we need to stand with them.
Plus, how one local church is standing strong in its principles to help people no matter their status.
There is a separation between church and state, and that must be respected.
And later, we hear from the family of a man fighting for his life after he was hit by a drunk driver. Thanks so much for joining us here at 11. I'm John Adams. President Donald Trump's crackdown on illegal immigration is expanding across the nation. Federal law enforcement agencies have teamed up to conduct sweeps. The Washington Post tonight citing 4 people with knowledge of the ICE briefings reports quotas have been set of at least 1,200 to 1,500 arrests per day.
That's what you're hoping for. Look, we want to get as many criminals as possible, so there's no number on it.
Back in Oregon, immigration was one of the topics that came up during a town hall held by Senator Jeff Merkley and Congresswoman Maxine Dexter. Senator Merkley told us he's very concerned of this immigration crackdown by the Trump administration, particularly with the recent passage of a bill that requires undocumented immigrants arrested for theft or violent crimes to be held in jail until their trial.
We're talking about 120,000 people in our state who fill all kinds of key roles in our economy, community leaders, state leaders. We need to understand that virtually everybody at my town hall today is going to be either an immigrant or a descendant of an immigrant, and that immigrants bring all kinds of strength to our country, and it's time we need to stand with them.
Another change causing concern, ICE agents are now allowed to make arrests in sensitive locations like schools and churches. That's why this year, Augustana Lutheran Church held its 30th annual Martin Luther King church service with special recognition to immigrants and what sanctuary has come to mean here in the United States.
Sanctuary to us still means this is holy ground, and a ground where people who are afraid can come and seek relief, no matter what that is, and no matter their migration status, no matter their gender. It's a place to get help, and it's sad if that is taken away.
The lead pastor of Augustana declared the church a sanctuary congregation back in 1996. This is where Francisco Aguirre stayed for 80 days in 2014 when federal agents attempted to detain him. Church members say they'll continue that mission throughout the Trump administration.
So we want to make sure that they know that there is a place in this region where they can come to and find safety, comfort, and resilient, adamant resistance to violence and to deportation.
They also say if Augustana can't give someone the help they need, they're forming a network of organizations to ensure someone else can. And we have breaking news for you tonight. The Portland Police Major Crash Team is investigating a deadly pedestrian crash in southeast Portland. It happened just before 6:45 this evening near the intersection of Southeast Boise and Cesar Chavez Boulevard. Officers found the pedestrian seriously injured. She was taken to the hospital but died of her injuries. The driver stayed on scene and was interviewed by police. Well, turning now to weather and taking a look outside as temperatures continue to drop across the area. It was another clear and cool day as our stretch of dry days continued on this Sunday. Meteorologist Joe Ranieri is joining us now. And Joe, what's the start of the work week going to look like for folks?
It's going to be our 14th day with dry conditions, no measurable amount of rain over the last 2 weeks. And as we look at our temperatures overnight, it's going to be in the upper 20s, low 30s. Along with those freezing temperatures, there's going to be widespread frost. So our forecast hasn't changed over the last 2 weeks, and it's not going to be changing for the next 4 days or so. But along the east side of the state, you're going to be seeing some temperatures dipping down into the single digits. That'll be the case near Rome over in the southeast pocket of the state and on the Oregon-Idaho border as well. There are going to be a few locations in the single-digit range. But we won't be under that cold weather advisory in the metro area, but you travel into the central and southern part of the Willamette Valley, you will be having that cold weather advisory in place. Also, that yellow color you just saw is an air stagnation advisory that's in effect until tomorrow afternoon, right around 4 o'clock throughout parts of the east side of the state. But temperatures will be dropping down right around the upper 20s to low 30s. So we do have a weather impact for tomorrow through the morning hours, along with those cold temperatures. Again, the areas of frost could cause for some slippery spots out there on the sidewalks as you get ready to go catch the bus, or even on the roads as well. But coming up in my detailed forecast, things will eventually change with the forecast. That's coming up in just a few minutes. I'll let you know what we'll be seeing later in the week and potentially into next weekend too.
All right, Joe, we'll see you then. Thank you. As we continue to see below freezing temperatures overnight, Clark County, Washington, and Marion counties are activating their emergency warming shelters tonight. The Clark County Council for the Homeless said the shelter at Living Hope Church in Vancouver opened at 7 tonight and will close at 7 tomorrow morning. The council's severe cold weather alert may be extended through Wednesday, the 29th. And in Marion County, there are 5 warming shelters that will be activated tonight. Buses will provide free transportation to shelters in Salem. For shelter details and availability, call the number you see there on the screen. Local police and the FBI worked together to arrest a Clackamas County man for allegedly trying to lure a child online. Milwaukee police detectives convinced 53-year-old Marcus Gwilliam that he was talking to a minor and arranged an in-person meetup. William made a plan with the decoy to engage in illegal acts. He was arrested at an agreed-upon location and booked on charges of luring a minor and online sex corruption of a child. Detectives believe there may be more victims. If you have any information on William, call 503-786-7488. In Lincoln City, police arrested a Beaverton man after he allegedly drove around a public beach while drunk. Witnesses say the driver, Artem Savenko, was driving along the D River beach. He also spun around the beach and narrowly missed families who were there. While officers tried to stop him, an open bottle of vodka fell out of the car. Savenko eventually stopped, was arrested, and booked on DUII, reckless driving, and reckless endangering.
One of our nurses said they see patients from drunk drivers every single day in the neuro ICU. It doesn't have to happen.
A man who was hit by an alleged drunk driver last Saturday is still fighting for his life in the hospital. The driver now facing 6 charges, with a few of them being felonies, and apparently this isn't his first run-in with the law. Our Celine Stevens spoke with the injured man's family, who said he has a long road ahead of him.
I feel like I was dissociating a little bit. It was, just total panic. It's been the hardest week of my life.
Ellie Rogers is the partner of Mitchell Carlson, the 27-year-old man hit by an alleged intoxicated driver at the intersection of Northeast Hassalo Street and Grand Avenue. Carlson was going home after an event at a local venue in the early morning hours of January 18th, but never arrived.
I saw a text on my phone that he had said heading home. And he wasn't there, so I tracked him, and it said he was at Legacy Emmanuel. I sprinted into the emergency department and just said who I was there for, and I asked if he was okay, and they said no.
Carlson suffered multiple fractures, but the worst was the brain damage. His mother got the call from the hospital and flew in with his father as soon as they could from Montana.
I had to give consent over the phone. It was horrible. First time we saw him was in the neurotrauma ICU. Of course, he was unconscious. He was on a ventilator. His head was shaved. He had drains coming out of his head.
Now, while he is conscious and has been moved to the trauma recovery and acute care unit of the hospital, Rogers says he's not the same.
He was trying to talk a lot, but it wasn't really the same Mitch. He has brain damage that was shown on his MRI, but they're impressed with his progress, and nobody can tell us for sure how much of him will come back.
That driver, 47-year-old Isaac Quinton Ellis. Court documents reveal Ellis was taken into custody and now is facing charges for reckless driving, DUII, assault, and more. He's since been released. Court documents also reveal that back in 1996, Ellis was convicted of first-degree manslaughter and third-degree assault. Now, Carlson's mom and partner are left to wonder what the future holds.
This kid had everything to live for. He just started grad school. He had a bright future going forward. and we don't know what it's going to be now.
Celine Stevens, KGW News.
Well, new tonight out of Cowlitz County, Washington, a fire early this morning damaged a business in Longview. First responders were called to the area of Commerce Avenue and Hudson Street around 3:15. There they found a first-floor business fully engulfed in flames and threatening upper-floor apartments. Took about an hour to get the fire fully under control without anyone hurt. The cause is under investigation. And we're about to enter our third week of the Oregon Nurses Association strike at multiple Providence hospitals and clinics. Nearly 5,000 workers have been hitting the picket lines, calling for better wages, benefits, and safer staffing levels. On Friday, Oregon's congressional delegation sent a letter to Providence leadership urging the healthcare system to engage in good faith bargaining with the union. We asked Representative Maxine Dexter today her thoughts on the matter.
It should be no surprise as a critical care physician who has worked every day throughout my life with nurses that I stand with nurses, I stand with our healthcare teams. We absolutely need to make sure that they have safe places to work. Staffing is critical for that, as well as good paying jobs so that we can recruit and retain the quality healthcare providers our community deserves.
ONA claims Providence is not approaching negotiations seriously. In a statement today, Providence says it's working closely with federal mediators, but the union's current proposals are not financially sustainable.